Alright, what is up, guys? Today is May 29th, 2017, and today I'm going to be doing this video in recognition of two things. First, my high school graduation this past weekend, and second, the Illinois Central School Bus Rodeo coming up this weekend. So, I have a lot of excitement for this Saturday in general. I'm going to be there at this event all day, participating as a judge. So it should just be a very fun time of seeing a lot of school buses, seeing the bus drivers compete, and seeing all my friends from the Carroll Stream and St. Charles, Illinois Central yards, and also getting to enjoy free food and watching people dance. There's going to be a lot of there's going to be entertainment there. There's going to be free food. Anyone is welcome. If any of you can make it, please do. I believe it's 1800 West Hawthorne Lane in West Chicago, Illinois. Come on out. So, anyway, I've got something pretty neat to show you guys today. This here is a school bus stop arm. I have had this thing for probably maybe 2 or 3 months now, and it's just been sitting here in my room collecting dust. I've been waiting to make a video on it. I just haven't had a chance to yet. So, this is a Specialty 6 Series strobing stop arm, school bus stop arm. And I'll be honest, I picked this thing out of the garbage. I was in St. Charles one day, and I dropped by the school bus company to see if they had any radios that they were throwing out. I went over to the dumpster, and I saw this thing in there, and I actually had to use a stick to reach in there and pull this thing out. And I got it home, cleaned it up, tested it, and it actually does not work quite right. But it's still a pretty neat piece to have. Very neat device here. So, like I said, it's a Specialty 6 Series. This either came off of an International or a Bluebird. I'm not sure exactly which bus it came off of, but Specialty 6 Series. It's got strobing lights on it, so which really surprised me. I'm so used to seeing the incandescent lights. When you see these type of lenses here, you expect incandescent lights behind these, but I actually opened this thing up to inspect the insides of it, and I saw a strobe light control module, which I'm, really fascinated me. I'm like, wow, this is actually a strobing stop arm. So this just has your flashing, these two lenses behind them are just flashing strobe tubes, just like your fire alarm devices. They're simply they're not LED or anything like that. They're just strobe lights. So these things are very loud. When the strobe lights are flashing, they actually make a very high-pitched whistling sound. If you have a school bus that stops in your neighborhood that has these strobing stop arms, and you get close enough to it, you will hear the whistling of those strobe lights. But I'm not really sure why this stop arm was thrown out. I think it has a lot of different problems with it. The first problem being that after it's on, and by the way, I think this is what's interesting about this stop arm is that all the controls for it are actually inside. I thought that when I powered this thing up, it really wouldn't do anything because it has to be connected to a school bus 8-way controller relay. But I was interested to figure out that this thing actually does everything by itself. The module inside is responsible for flashing the strobe lights back and forth. And it's also there's also a controller inside this thing to control the movement of the arm. So I thought that was really interesting that this isn't controlled by the actual module on the school bus. But this thing has a couple problems. The first one, unless I'm not doing something right, the first one is that the strobe lights work fine until after maybe 20 seconds, 15 to 20 seconds. This light on top actually cuts out. So it starts where these things are flashing back and forth, just fine. It's just like they should be. But after a couple seconds, this top one completely cuts out for some reason, and then this one keeps flashing. So I assume that would be a problem with the strobe module. But obviously that's a problem here. That's a problem by itself. You don't want just one of your lights working, or one of your lights working. You just want you want them flashing back and forth properly. And if this was an incandescent stop arm, they probably just could have, and it was a problem with the bulb on top, they would have definitely replaced the bulb on top. But because you really can't replace strobe lights too easily, that's probably one of the reasons why they threw this thing out. This thing also seems to kind of have a mind of its own too. When I plug it in to power, it really doesn't know what it's doing. It seems like. I have only got it to actually open a couple times. Very seldom can I get it to actually open. Typically, if I pull it open manually, it'll close by itself, but I just cannot get it to come out. So it seems like it has a mind of its own. Sometimes if I plug it in, it'll just, push up more against the... it'll close as far as it can, then the motor will cut off, or sometimes it'll decide to open. It just doesn't seem like it just seems like it just does whatever it wants to. So anyway, I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing with this thing. I guess I'm just going to be holding on to it. I really don't have any use for it. I obviously don't have a school bus to put it on, so I'm not sure if I'll keep it. Maybe I'll put it on eBay one of these days if I can find a box to ship it in, because I really don't have any use for it, and it's just taking up space in my room. So I'll have to see if I can get some money off of it in the future here, maybe, or something like that. But especially since it's malfunctioning, I really don't have any use for it. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here, I've got it plugged into power. I've got there's 3 wires coming out of the back of it that were just cut when it was taken off of the bus. So I stripped those wires, and these are connected to my 12-volt power supply here. Once again, you can thank my dad for getting me this power supply. This is an AI phone PS-12C intercom. I think this is a building/PA intercom, or a building PA/intercom power supply, and it's a pretty good little power supply. I forgot how many amps it puts out, but it's a pretty good power supply, and it works with this stop arm pretty well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep it like this. I'm going to go ahead and plug the power supply into the wall, and the strobe lights are just going to flash back and forth. I will show you the strobe lights first, then I will manually pull the arm up, and I will let it close. So let's go ahead and apply power here first, and you guys will get to see the strobe lights flash. You guys will see how they'll flash properly for a couple seconds, then after a while this one will randomly cut out. So here we go. Well, as you guys can see, that goes back to what I was saying before. This thing kind of has a mind of its own. But anyway, there goes the strobe lights. As you guys can see, as I was saying, they're just strobe lights, no different than your fire alarm strobes. So we're still flashing somewhat okay right here. And there we go. There goes the as you guys can see, the top strobe light just cut off for no apparent reason, and this one is still flashing. So I'm not exactly sure what causes that. It's obviously some malfunction of the strobe module, but I'd be curious to actually open it up and find out what exactly is causing that problem. But this is more than likely the reason the company decided to throw it in the garbage and replace the whole unit. Anyway, let's unplug it from the wall here, and I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to pull the arm up, and I'm going to let it close by itself when I plug power in. Okay, so this is the inside of the arm. You can actually see that the bus company did a repair with this one. I guess the wire came, maybe the wire got cut somehow, maybe the bus brushed up against the side of something sharp, and maybe the wire got cut, so they had to do some little repairs there at some point, if the camera will focus in on that. But there it is, a Specialty 6 Series solid state control. This piece is a little bit of a pain too. I have to be careful with this because the screws that go in there, the bolts or whatever, came out, so this thing actually moves freely. I have to make sure it's all the way down before the stop arm tries to go in there. So anyway, now that the stop arm is out in the deployed position, let's go ahead and plug it in, and we will let the motor move it back in. Well, there it goes. Took a little bit of time. As you guys can see, this thing just absolutely has a mind of its own. It's just like completely random. I can plug it in, it'll open sometimes, it'll close sometimes. It's has a complete mind of its own. So I'm not sure why that is. But if it was acting this random when it was on the school bus, then I can definitely see why they have problems with it. I'm not sure if it's because it's not plugged into a school bus controller that it's acting so weird. But my guess is that if it was acting like this on the school bus, plus the top light cutting out, they had plenty of reasons to toss this thing in the trash and replace it. So let's just pull the plug on it one more time and plug it back in and see if it does anything different. Nope. But as you guys can see, when power is taken off and you plug it back in for a couple seconds, it goes back to normal with the top strobe light. But it seems like the longer you have the power off, the more normal it'll act when you first reapply power. But yeah, so kind of messed up, but kind of fun at the same time. You know, it's obviously malfunctioning, but it's kind of fun too. You know, just kind of a fun little device to have. Actually, quite heavy. But like I said, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this thing. I'm not sure if I'll keep it or if I'll sell it on eBay. If I'll probably put it up on eBay if I can find a box for it. But for now, it's just going to be sitting in my room collecting dust. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this little video, and that'll be it.